What's up, you guys? So this new series that I'm going to be doing for y'all is, you're going to have to excuse me, I'm a little hoarse today. I'm overcoming a little bit of a sickness, but this new series that I'm going to be recording for you guys is my take on extremes in the fitness industry. So the take of a female vegan bodybuilder regarding contest prep, extreme diet, social media, pressures of the fitness industry, more so for women, but of course they can apply to men as well. So there's going to be different parts to this series, so as they come out, keep an eye out for them, and I will link them below in each video. So hope you guys enjoy. Hit that thumbs up if y'all are excited about this series, and let's get started. Alright, so part one is going to be about extreme diets and contest prep dieting. So of course I'm going to be speaking mostly from my own experience and what I have seen, and in no way is this giving advice or telling you guys what to do, so take it with a grain of salt. This is my opinion. Basically, anywhere you go in the fitness industry, you're going to see the word diet everywhere. All of the magazines, websites, anything you can look up, there's going to be the perfect diet, how to diet, the paleo diet, low carb diet, ketogenic diet, Mediterranean diet, cabbage soup diet, HCG diet. Like, everything is about dieting. Now, I can't speak on too much of this myself because I am technically dieting at the moment, but the purpose of my current goals is to get my caloric intake up from my previous contest prep. So, but most people are so consumed with the idea of dieting and in a constant state of being afraid of certain foods, of avoiding certain ingredients or avoiding certain foods. And this is solely based for the purpose of weight loss. Now, most people take the time to follow a certain crash diet or small window of dieting. So say they're going to diet for 12 weeks. But they don't think about afterwards. So they'll take 12 weeks and adhere to a crazy strict workout program. They will, cut their calories or cut out all carbs or cut out all processed foods or something of that sort that is completely out of their comfort zone and completely different to what they're used to. They'll throw in all of these elements together and they will either, reach that goal or 12-week mark, or they will fall off the wagon immensely. Whether they get to that point or not, what happens after the diet's over? Most people think, okay, this is when I can go back to normal, or I'll just kind of reintroduce some of these foods into my diet. 9 times out of 10 they end up binging their faces off and end up in a worse off place than they were even to begin with. And so then once that happens, they go through this fear and this worry that, oh my gosh, I have to diet again. So they do it again, and they go straight from restricting to binging and gaining a whole bunch of fat and completely undoing everything that they've done, and then dieting again. And it's just this crazy roller coaster, crazy yo-yo cycle that almost seems impossible to get out of. And it's so common in the fitness industry because everybody is so set on temporary results. I'll have people email me and say, I really want to lose X amount of pounds in the next 3 weeks because I'm going on vacation. Well, you should have been thinking about that 6 months ago when you were, going YOLO mode for the holidays and thinking, oh, I'll just diet this off right before. it's not going to happen that easily. It's not going to happen that quickly. And if you can make it happen that quickly, I can almost guarantee that you're going to gain it back and then some within a year. And with all the information, it seems almost impossible to find a healthy approach and a healthy take on all of it. When really, from my opinion and how I try to approach my coaching, is the best approach is what's going to be easiest for you. And this is talking about more of general health and fitness and reaching your goals long term. So contest prep, it's a little different because you do have to be more specific with your nutrition and your workouts. But if you're looking to maintain an overall healthy, balanced, active lifestyle, whatever works best into your life is going to work best for you long term. So always think to yourself, can I see myself following through with this diet or nutritional approach, with these workouts, a year from now, 2 years from now? If the answer is hell no, find something else. I promise that you will thank yourself 2 years from now whenever you actually take the time to find something that is healthy and maintainable for you, versus going back and forth on all these crazy cycles of diet and restriction and binging and guilt and just awful mentalities. It's going to look different for everyone as far as the approach, but I always encourage focusing on those, healthy micronutrient dense foods, fruits and veggies and grains. Being vegan now, I would encourage you to stay away from the animal products, but that's another story in itself. So when it comes to contest prep, this is a really tough topic to talk about, because it is so unhealthy the way that people go about prepping for shows. Bodybuilding itself is not a healthy sport. Having done only 2 shows myself, I can say that as a natural competitor, it's not healthy to be that lean for long periods of time. For women, we're supposed to maintain a good degree of body fat on us for healthy hormone function, for energy levels, for sleep, and it can really affect our health and our life long term if you strive to stay at 8 or 9% body fat. Like I said, especially being natural. Now, the women that are on, I'm not an expert on steroids or any hormones or anything like that, but from a few things that I do understand, since they are injecting those hormones into their body, their body is not having to regulate its own hormones as much, so they're not as affected internally, but of course the drugs can have a different toll on your body, so either way it's not healthy. Just some of the things that these women put themselves through, or men, that they put themselves through to reach and attain, or reach the desired look for the stage, or get those 6-pack shredded veiny abs or striated glutes, whatever it is. 9 times out of 10, it is done in a very unhealthy way, and most people won't tell you about it because it's not something that you're proud of. Speaking from my own experience, this last show that I did, I can honestly say that I went about it in the healthiest way possible for me, and I think one of the most realistic and one of the best approaches that I've ever heard of or seen, and that was with the help of my wonderful coach. I will link his website below. His name is William Grazione. He is fantastic. But basically, it didn't water deplete. I didn't take any diuretics. I didn't crazy starve myself leading up to the show. I didn't do endless hours of cardio. I was not in the gym for 4 or 5 hours a day, 6 or 7 days a week. With that said, I do know that my body was not at a healthy state when I got to my lowest body fat percentage. Because my sleep was interrupted. I was probably sleeping 5 hours a night. My energy was a lot lower. I could tell big time in my workouts. I probably was a little crankier because I was hungry. I was in a severe caloric deficit, and that's just where I had to be to get down to that body fat level. One of the positives is that my cardio was not insanely high, but that's just as a result of having a good off season and adding in a bunch of calories and taking out the cardio, so I had a higher starting point. So I wouldn't recommend that people go through that at all, because it's not fun to be hungry all the time. You know, I practice flexible dieting, so I can eat what I choose as long as it fits into my daily protein, carb, fat intake. But whenever my carbs are 100 grams, there's only so much of the indulgences that I can have without starving for the rest of the day. So, like I said, I believe that I did that in the healthiest way possible for me. But my first show, I did not agree with the means of prepping. I was up to 7 days of cardio. I did leading up to the show, and it gradually increased over time. So leading up to the show, I did 45 minutes of fasted cardio every morning, so that was 7 days a week. I would complete my weightlifting workout 6 days a week, which was probably about an hour and a half or so. And then 7 days a week, I had HIIT cardio for 30 minutes. So I was probably in the gym for a good 3 or more hours a day. Before the show, I started taking a diuretic. It's like water loss pills, but it basically forces your body to pee constantly and flush out all of the water. Not good, because we need water for survival. And then at noon before the show, or noon the day before the show, cut my water. I could only have sips as I needed, but of course I was afraid to take any sips because I thought it was going to blow up. The day of the show, only sips of water. After the morning show, I had 8 ounces of water. Boop, boop. And my diet consisted of anywhere from 2 to 6 ounces of lean meat, sometimes carbs, and little veggies because I didn't want the fiber to make me bloat. Long story short, not a healthy approach. I was very, very unhappy, very grumpy. I binged on and off after the show. I tried to reverse diet, but I was just so severely restricted and drained. I didn't know what to do. Those type of extremes are what is marketed out there, because if you take a normal person off the street and you put them on that kind of diet and on that kind of restriction, the results that you're going to get within a few weeks are going to be phenomenal. Those are the transformations that you're going to see all over social media. It's this, mother of 4 that had 50 pounds to lose. She lost it all within 6 weeks and did a show and looked amazing. Follow up with her 6 months after the show and see how she's doing mentally and physically. Again, I don't speak for everybody, but this seems to be the trend in bodybuilding. So, do I agree with methods? Hell no, I don't. And that is why I did my second show in October, because I wanted to show that it could be done in a healthier way. Not only for myself, but for you guys, because I documented the whole thing. So if you haven't seen them all, go back and check them out. I don't believe that I got lean enough for the show, but that's on me. I just didn't start my prep out as far out as I needed to. And I ended up, I think, looking show ready like 4 to 6 weeks after my show. I don't know. But at this point here, I am probably 4 months post-show, and, you know, although I have gained some weight back, I do feel that I've been able to maintain so much more balance and such a better mindset than I did the first time around as a result of a more balanced approach. And it's something that a lot of people look at and they think it's bullshit because, you know, I allow for food in moderation. Mind-blowing, right? If I want some ice cream, I have some damn ice cream. If I want some chips, I'll fit them into my intake for the day and I move on with life. I don't binge on them in a cheat meal because I can't have them for the rest of the week. These extremes need to stop. They need to stop. And I'm trying so hard to get a more positive message out there for you guys and for the world, and to show people that fitness and certain ways of achieving healthy and strong physiques is not in a box. We need to start thinking outside of the box. So it's not just 5 to 6 meals a day, eating every 2 hours and avoiding this food and only having this food and having this type of protein. I don't eat animal foods anymore. And I feel like I am thriving even better than I did before. But if you would have said that to me 6 months ago, I would have probably cussed you out. Because it's something that's unheard of. At least for me it was. 2 years ago, if you would have told me that I could have Freebirds a week out from my show and not feel any guilt, if I could have pizza while I was on my prep and not feel guilty and not binge my face off, I would have said, get the fuck out. Because it was so unheard of to me. But by having an open mind and actually aiming to find what works best for me, I was able to find one of the healthiest approaches for my body and for my goals. And I had to get out of my comfort zone for it. And I had to trust in the process and trust in myself and trust my body and know that for the long term it was going to pay off. And I wasn't having the crazy transformations within 3 to 4 weeks that everybody else was posting on social media. But while they were yo-yo dieting like crazy over the last 3 years, I was slowly chipping away. And now I'm to the point where I have people, you know, asking for my advice. And whenever I tell them, this is how I did it, nice and slow, in moderation, didn't do a bunch of cardio, it's hard for them to believe because everything else that they see and everything else that they're bombarded with is about temporary results and quick fixes. So, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Thank y'all for watching. Stay tuned for episode number 2 of this series. And I will see y'all soon.